But, whew, what a movie. What a film. What a feature.
That was a good one.
Hi, I'm Danielle.
And I'm Del.
And this is The Black Catch-Up, where we're catching up on iconic black media we missed out on in our more conservative religious childhood.
Yep. Yep. So today we did a more recent one.
Yes, we did. The Harder They Fall.
Yes, The Harder They Fall.
Yeah, it's on Netflix right now. It was released in theaters, I think, a week before that. We're filming on November 7th. I'm hoping this gets up on Monday. Not Monday, Tuesday. We don't put anything out on Tuesday. But yeah, The Harder They Fall. So as always, I am DB. When an outlaw discovers his enemy is being released from prison, he reunites his gang to seek revenge in this Western. So that was...
Okay.
That's basically what happens.
Yeah, that was exactly what happened.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess as usual, we kind of start off with what we liked about the movie.
Yes.
I guess I'll kick it off.
Yeah.
I thought there was like really great acting in this one.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where like the cast was just so star-studded and everyone was kind of just acting their ass off that like no one was slouching. It almost seemed like easy for everyone to just act well, you know? 'Cause, like, just kind of surrounded by good actors, it's easy to play off them. Like, it's not like one person had to carry anything. Like, just great acting across the board. Yeah,
everyone did their job. They all did it well. And there's just such a comfort when you have a movie with so many good actors in it, where you're like, I know that no matter what they throw at the screen, it's going to be okay because they can handle it and not make something sound ridiculous when it's supposed to be serious or vice versa or anything like that. But
exactly.
Good.
No, it really like kept you in the moment and like, you know, there weren't those moments where like, oh, this person's like acting way too hard right now, or like, why is this person like not showing any emotion? Like, it was just everything was like very right on, very like spot on, and really got to like feel immersed, you know?
Yeah, and I think even the more more seasoned people that we've seen more, like Regina King, her acting's always up to here, and it was nice to just see everyone meet her there instead of it being like a, oh no, now we have to like just basically like dumb everything down so that she doesn't look like she's on like miles and miles ahead of everybody else. It's very, very nice.
Yeah.
The first thing I had was a specific scene. It was the robbing of the train scene. All the way till when they got Idris Elba. I think Regina King's character's name was Trudy. From her like on a horse on the track and the train like, hey, you gotta move, and her just like stone faced, nothing, just like unfazed from that point all the way up until they take Idris Elba and they kill everyone on the train except for that one guy who says he knows how to drive a train. Just like top notch. Oh, I loved that scene so much. And also the train, if you guys didn't know, it has like a little Easter egg of sorts where its name is C.A. Boseman for Chadwick Boseman. Oh, so that's a fun little Easter egg if you guys didn't already know.
Yeah, nice. I did not notice that one, but
yeah,
very good, very good. I guess not a scene, but I did like that it was a Western. Like, I'm honestly not too familiar with like the Western genre, but it was just really fun kind of just watching them be cowboys, like, you know, gang rivalries in like a different setting, like all of like the bragging and like the shit talking kind of thing, like, oh, you want me killed? Yeah, get in line kind of thing, you know, like, I don't know, I just thought it was like really fun to kind of see that play on screen. And then like you got scenes like the scene on the train where they're just like, you know, being like super just like arrogant and unbothered as they're like robbing this train, like, hey, I don't want any violence, but you know, if I need to, I'll slice your legs down kind of thing. So I just thought it had like a lot of like just fun like Western moments like that, you know?
Because it was a Western. It was so good.
Yeah.
It was just like, it had all the typical like archetypes of a Western where like you have the bandit, the good guys, the damsel in distress, all that stuff. But it kind of like spun a lot of it on its head and made it super black. And it was fabulous. Like, I typically don't like Westerns, but if all Westerns were like this, I would honestly be obsessed with them. It was so good. Another specific scene that I had, well, this movie in general had very good shots. Like, the cinematography and direction of this movie was impeccable. It looked so beautiful, which is such an odd, just like about a Western, you typically, at least I typically don't say that, but just like, everything looks so gorgeous. And one of the specific scenes that I really liked was, or a couple of them, was when they first enter Mary's bar and the camera kind of like closes up onto the main guy's face, whose name I can't remember. It like closes in on his face. Yes, Nat Love. And it like closes in on him, but it like kind of jumps like that. I just loved that little touch, and they did that a couple of times. I liked. I also liked when Nat and that woman whose name, the actress's name is Danielle. I remember that because obviously, but I can't remember her character's name. But when they were robbing the bank, just the detail of them in that all-white town where the streets were white, the buildings were white and powdery, it was full of white people, and then they come in with, like, she's in this, like, vibrant red dress, and just, like, she's uncomfortable, but she, like, still stands out, same with Nat Love. It was amazing. This movie had so many just great shots. Even when they were, like, just all lined up on horses and stuff like that. This movie had beautiful shots.
Yeah, no, I guess kind of like similar. I really liked like the setting. Like they had a lot of good shots of like the western town, just kind of like, you know, coming in over it, and you kind of see the buildings like going down the street. And then also the costume design for this was really good. Like I think my favorite look was Idris Elba getting off, and he's like in the like pinstripes as if it's like the prison uniform, but it's just like a coat and pants and just look really nice. And he just looks like super scary. So I definitely thought like it was just a beautiful movie to watch, just from like a visual standpoint. I guess the next thing I really liked the characters in this movie. Like, you know, just kind of like they're like interesting quirks. Like I think, you know, one of my favorites was probably I think his name was Jim, the guy with the guy who thought he was the quickest in the West kind of thing, who was like super cocky. I just like kind of really liked that kind of like under storyline, just kind of watching him like showboat, like always kind of twirling his gun, and then like the comment of like, oh, that showboating is gonna get you killed one day, and you know that kind of is what happened. But
because
I just thought they all had good little stories.
Yeah, he went up against Lakeith Stanfield's character, whose name I also don't remember.
Cherokee Bill.
Yes, I do remember his name. I wrote it down.
Yeah,
but Cherokee
and the last one was Cuffy too.
Yeah,
the girl was Cuffy.
Cuffy, okay. And even him, the like detail of having a bullet with Cherokee's name on it that he was putting in the gun, then he was like twirling around. And then Cherokee Bill was another one of my favorite characters. He's like, I don't like violence. And he was just like the doesn't take any shit kind of guy, where he was like, I hate when they count so slow and all that so good.
He even had the comment before where he was like, I don't like violence, but I shoot people for talking too much.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even remember that
comment.
What
happened to the guy. So it was great. We haven't talked about it yet. I don't know how. The music? So good.
Very good.
And it was so like working with the movie. Like everybody, like the actors and the director and the cinematographer, like everybody worked so well together, and like the music kind of like was interwoven in, so that like sometimes the words like went with what was going on. It was just the perfect addition. Like that's what I mean when I say that they made it a Western, but they like turned the notch up from like 0 blackness to like 50 million. It was so good.
Yeah. And I really like how the music, they didn't really use a lot of like full clips of songs or anything. It was a lot of like just like you get like 2 bars, and like the bars would like actually have to do with what's going on in the movie. Yeah. And so with the you know, music, the instrumental as well. So like, you know, the music was very good in this one. Yeah.
Is that everything? Do you have any other positives?
Yeah, that's just about all I had.
Okay. So on to the negatives.
Yeah.
I could kick this one off. I didn't really have too many, because you've heard me sing the praises of this movie for the past like 8 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
I think sometimes, although the shots were beautiful, sometimes I felt as though we lingered a little too long on certain things, or like lingered a little too long waiting for everyone to get into the shot. And not as in everyone getting into the shot like it was like a bad regional theater production, as in like part of the shot is everyone on their horses like getting into position so we can start walking. And sometimes I'm like, I don't want to see everyone get into position. I kind of just like want it to be there, and then they're coming in. So
yeah, and this was a 2+ hour movie as well. So
so
little stuff like that adds up.
Some of that. Yeah.
The one thing I had was like, I guess kind of a nitpick, but like I don't really watch Westerns, so I imagine this plot was kind of standard for a Western, but there wasn't much there in the plot for me. In terms of like having like feelings and like emotions during the movie. Like pretty much all of it just came from like the great acting. Like in terms of like the storyline, my emotions weren't really being tugged on or anything. So like that was kind of the one downside to this one. But again, like I imagine that's kind of just standard for Westerns. Like you got so much of that Western, like, hey, we're cowboys, we're gangs. Like, he robbed us, we're robbing him back. Like that, do we need to say any more? You know, so like it's not a huge deal, but that was kind of the one thing that, I just like couldn't get too emotionally invested into it because like, again, like the plot wasn't that exciting, I guess, you know?
Yeah, I said that about the romance between Nat Love and Zazie Beetz' character. It didn't trance me. Not that it wasn't well acted, I just was like not interested. I was like, can we go back to Regina King's character who just like comes in like a badass all the time, or like any of the other characters who are like sharpshooters? Like I don't care for the romance, but I know that that's a very big piece of Westerns, so I kind of was like, whatever, but I was not interested.
Yeah, because I guess the romance was kind of that like B plot, I guess. Like, okay, yeah.
Because like when you think of Westerns, you think of the guy saving, like Regina King even calls her the damsel in distress. Like you're coming to save your damsel, and like that's such a key part. You think of like old cartoons of like the women who's like wrapped around train tracks and stuff like that. So I understand it's a part of it. I just did not care for it.
Okay, yeah.
Like wasn't a fan.
I didn't care for it too much either. You know, that was my kind of other point in the plot. Wasn't all that great. You know.
Yeah. So if that's everything, we can get into ratings.
You want to go first? Yeah,
I'll go first. I gave this a 4.5 out of 5. I'm not someone who likes Westerns, but I think it made them seem so cool. Just all the stuff that we've been saying this whole time. The action was amazing. It looked spectacular. Acting was wonderful. It had all the typical archetypes, but they like made it black as hell, and I loved that. And the score, the score of this movie was so good.
Yeah.
Like, loved that.
Nice. I give this one a 4 too. Like, I just had a lot of fun watching this. Like, again, like, it was one of those movies, like, I guess because the plot was so thin, I could kind of just tune out and, like, it was just seeing, like, beautiful, great black actors on screen, like, doing what they do best at, like, a very high level, you know? And, like, that just gave so much enjoyment to the film. And, like, again, like, the score, the costume, the cinematography, like, everything just came together except the plot, but like I'm able to overlook that, you know, because it was just such an enjoyable experience.
But final question: do you wish you saw this sooner?
I guess it doesn't apply. Like I guess I wish black westerns were more of a thing.
Yeah,
you know, like I would like to see more movies like this, you know, but I don't know if it needs to be sooner.
I just saw the title of an article that was like, Black Westerns aren't diverse, it's like history, because that was history. And it just made me wish there were more black Westerns that were black as hell. That's what I want. Like, not even this particular one, just like any of them, because I would like the genre so much more.
Yeah, no, definitely agreed. But, that was The Harder They Fall.
Yes.
YouTube housekeeping, like, comment, subscribe.
Ring the bell for notifications. If you have any movie suggestions for us, you can leave them in the comments down below. We do movies on Tuesdays and Fridays. All of our socials will be linked in the description box down below, and we'll see you next time to catch up. Bye! Like I said, this movie's just black as hell, and it was so much fun.
No, it really was. And it was also nice to see the story in like a different setting. Like, I guess like the whole like gangs like shooting each other. Like you see that in those like Black Hood movies, and it has a whole different feeling to it. Yeah. Like when it's in the West, it's like I don't know. It felt like a lot. It just felt a lot freer, you know. Like they like that is just the universe, you know, out there, you know. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be like the universe we're like currently in, you know. So it felt as more like an escape, you know.